My mother was diagnosed with MPN when I was 8. In fact, actually, when she was diagnosed, it was only classed as a disorder. It wasn't even known as a neoplasm then. And I remember her sort of being dragged around in the car, flurry of doctor's rooms, hospital visits, faith healers, just trying to understand what it was, and not everyone knew. And it's only through the work of everyone involved in MPN and guys and all the associated people that people actually understand what it is now. And even for me, when I was, here I am almost 30 years on, and it's probably only in the last 5 or 10 years that I've really realised what it is. And look, I've had someone in my life who's been living with it. And I think the thing that really hit home to me about 3 years ago, I went to an appointment with my mother at Guy's Hospital with Claire Harrison. And on the way there, we went through the treatment room. There were people who were my age, younger, older, in all sorts of different things, stages. And I thought, well, hang on, it's happening to everyone or anyone. And I sort of thought, well, I've got to do something. And that's the point when I'd already raised a bit of money in the past with the Absel, which I hated. And I thought, well, okay, what can I do that's going to help? And I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a counsellor. The best thing I could do was help raise awareness of MPN and hopefully raise a little bit of money for it. And so that's when I decided to go and run the marathon. And you might look at me, and I may have already said this, and forgive me if I have, but I'm no one's idea of an athlete. So for a lot of people, the idea of me kind of plodding around 26 miles or even running around 26 miles was quite horrific for them. So it helped them put their hands in their pocket and raise a bit of money. And it helped me when I could tell them, and I went away and did my research, that across the 3 different types of MPN, they affect 1 in 143,000 people. And it's rare enough to not get any coverage, but it's not rare enough to be an illness or disease that really kind of excites people. It's not a tropical disease, it's just a really nasty form of blood disease that really affects people's life. And I've seen that personally through Mum. I've seen the treatments she's had to do, the pills she's had to take, the blood venesections she's had to have. And if there's something that we can do as kind of people who know about MPN, if there's something we can do to raise awareness, to get the funding in, to do the research, to understand why these things happen, potentially once we understand why they happen, we can maybe be able to find a way of stopping them. If we can do that, then we have to. It's just as simple as that. I wanted to go and do something that people knew I wasn't going to enjoy. So in the past, I'd done abseiling for MPN, and I raised, I think, sort of £6,000 or £7,000. And the hook for that, for everyone, was I don't like heights. So everyone who knew me from when I was a little nipper knew that I couldn't climb a gate without getting scared. And suddenly, that actually prompted them to think, oh, he's doing something, that scares him. Similarly with the marathon, I thought, well, I'm going to do something that scares me. And so it was an experience. I'd love to say I enjoyed it, but I didn't. But I got round, and the day was amazing. And it was weirdly motivating, not necessarily on the day because it's just quite so overwhelming, but the cold nights in kind of December. And I remember a particular night. It was about a week or so before Christmas in 2017, and it was hoofing it down with snow. And I ran and I ran and I ran. I think I ran 8 miles that day. And I remember particularly, I was running through Battersea, not that that's relevant, and a car drove past me, and the snow and car drove past me and splashed me. And I thought, oh, for God's sake, this is awful. Why am I doing this? And then I actually thought, again, back to what I'd seen in that room in Guy's, and I thought, I'm not doing this for me. And it was that motivation that really kept me going. I'm doing another half marathon next year. That's because when I did the marathon, and this is a bit selfish, but when I did the marathon in 2018, my knee went halfway round. I got round because I'd raised a hell of a lot of money, and I'd raised about £1,000 for every mile I did, and that was going through my mind every step I did, but I didn't get the time that I wanted to, or anywhere near. So I thought, right, well, I'm going to go and do. I actually swore when I finished the marathon I was never going to do another marathon, but now I'm going to do a half one just so I can show to myself I can do it properly. But beyond that, yes, I will always continue to think of ideas to do something, and if someone approaches me, if Mum or Maz or any of the people at MPN say to me, oh, we're doing this, do you want to get involved? I'll always try. I'll always see if there's a way of doing it. And you never know, I might come up with some new idea, and maybe there'll be someone watching this, potentially, hopefully, who'll go, oh, I've got a really good idea. I'd like to see him do that. And I'll try it, I'll give it a go. There are certain times of the year when it's sort of, we all get inundated with links to everyone's Just Giving or Virgin Money page or whatever it is. Lots of people are always trying to raise money, and there's a draw on all of our time and all of our money from all sorts of places and not just charities. And think why you're doing it, and try and get that message across to people. And it might just be a really meaningful story, or it might be something that's caught your imagination. And if you tell people that story, that they're much more likely to support you. If you're just blindly asking them for money, then you get in the queue with everyone else. So if you want to go and raise money for MPN, and please do go and raise money for MPN, then just think about who you're going to ask, what you're going to do, why you're going to do it, but don't think about it too long. Just do it.